I have a new dentist. And when I went to see him, this is about a month ago, actually, I wrote about this, and I'm going to give examples, but I wrote about this on my newsletter a couple weeks ago. So if you're interested in my Winged Horse Healing newsletter, you can go to wingedhorsehealing.com and sign up on any page. You can sign up. And it used to come out weekly. Now it's monthly for a while. I got a little burned out. I was doing it once a week for 5 years. So it's once a month, and I shall share stories. And okay, so this one was about my new dentist who, we're chatting when his hand is not in my mouth. And he asked me what I do for a living. And I tell him I'm a writer and an editor and a writing coach and an animal communicator. And I'm waiting for the eye roll, and I didn't get one. So anyway, the conversation continued. And at one point he said to me, do animals think? Do you think animals think? And I'm like, the question was so bizarre to me. Any living thing, of course they think. What do you mean, do they think? I said, do they think like humans? No. Do they solve math problems? I don't think so. But do they think? Of course they think. And he said, no, I think it's all instinct. And I'm like, what? So I put this out to the people on my list, and I said, if you got some stories. So a woman shared a story, and then I have a couple. This won't be too long. She said, her little Rocky, he's a little tiny dog, how he thinks. I'm going to read it to you. He's about 2 years old and enjoys playing fetch immensely until he tires out. Then he inhales his water and coughs for a minute and lies down next to me or on my lap. There have been a few times when the ball landed behind a chair or a table or on a shelf. The one time I saw him thinking was when he had to stand on his hind legs and reach into the upper shelf where his ball was, and use his paws to reach into the shelf, move the objects away from his toy to maneuver it into his mouth, and carry it to me to continue playing. It's problem solving, yes? When that didn't work, he picked up small objects with his paws, sliding them to the right and left so he could fit his head in, and managed to retrieve the ball in his mouth. Then she says, because people don't believe what they see, perhaps desire was at play here instead of thinking, but either way, I was impressed watching him do this. And my response was, well, desire comes first. We want something, right? And then we think how to get it. That's right, right? And clearly, little Rocky was thinking, he was problem solving. I'm inviting you to watch your animals. Of course they think. Of course they think. Yes, they think. And then I have two more short ones for you. My heart dog, Alika, who died now, I guess 7 or 8 years ago, little American Eskimo, sweetheart. One day, a friend of mine came over. I was living in the country. I was living in this house and caring for horses who are now mine. And a friend of mine came to visit me in this house out in the country. And I was upstairs changing something. She was downstairs. And I'm walking down the steps, long staircase, and I wondered where my Alika was, my dog. She was going with us. We were going to take a walk in a forest preserve. Alika, where are you? She's usually like right next to me, right behind me. Alika, where are you? And I walked down the stairs. I'm still calling her. Alika, where are you? We're gonna go take a walk. Alika. I get almost to the bottom of the stairs. I'm on a landing, so there's like 5 steps below me, and I see her poke her head around the poke her head around the railing, at the bottom. She's standing in the dining room. She pokes her head around and looks at me, and her tail is wagging, and she thinks this is hilarious. She was playing hide and go seek, and I'd never seen that. And then other people tell me, oh yeah, my dog does that. She'd never done that before. It cracked me up. She was so proud of herself. She was there hiding until I had come around. It was a curved staircase, so that I could see her when she poked her head out. Was that thinking or instinct? That was thinking. She never did it before, and I don't think she did it after that. It was just a game she played that day. And here's my last one. There's tons of them, right? My horse, Firsty, is a very funny guy. He tells jokes. He's pretty hilarious. He can be obnoxious. But so his sister, his half-sister, is sick. She has Cushing's disease and insulin resistance. It's not fun. Don't recommend it. And so she can't go out and pasture, which is a problem, the barn that I have leased, because the space isn't really very big for them. And then I would always open it up and they can run around in the pasture. Well, she can't go. So I take her for walks around the property while I turn him out into the pasture so he can at least run around for half an hour. It's not good. Anyway, that's what we have. So he runs around out there while we walk, and then I bring her back, put her in her stall, and then I want to feed them breakfast. They live outside. I want to feed breakfast, and some days he's standing there waiting for us. He doesn't like to be separated from her. But some days he has a new game. Everything is a game to first eat. Everything is a game to first eat. He has to create these games, right? So he's out in the pasture. He's very close to the gate. He's almost coming in to the dry lot. And I call him. Just the other day, I call him. And I know he hears me. I can see his ear move. How could you not hear me? I'm not that far away. And he doesn't look up. He doesn't acknowledge with his eyes that he heard me. He's kind of like still looking down, eating the grass. And I call, Frozy, would you please come in here? I would like you to come in here, please. Could you please come in here? And he doesn't come. But I know that he hears me. His ears are moving. He kind of will catch a glance and he just, he's eating or pretending to eat. It's hilarious. I'm like, Thirsty, could you? And then he's like, oh, he makes this noise. And he comes galloping, cantering, and oh, his tail. I'm like, oh, you are hilarious. So he's done that. Is that instinct or thinking? He's playing a game. He thinks it's funny. And so when I start walking towards my dog, thought that was funny too, Ziggy. When I start walking towards in his direction, it's a little ways, then he throws up his head and he joyfully runs in like, oh, did you want me? So there's another example of an animal playing, creating a game. He did that a few days in a row. It wasn't just once. He created a game and now he's not doing it. He's waiting for us when we come back in. So he'll think of something else. So think of times, start watching your critters and watching wild ones too. Squirrels, birds. I mean, the way birds build their nests. I saw something. I'm sorry, this is going to get too long, but I saw a little video, something. Ziggy, my dog, a video a while back of there's this birds that aren't in the States. I don't think, I'm not even sure where they are, but the male creates a den that he decorates to attract females. And apparently they're ground dwellers, I guess, these birds. I mean, of course they fly, but they nest on the ground. And in the spring, this type of bird, they all have their little places. They don't create the whole. They find, wherever. And then they decorate them with certain rocks. And they try to make them as attractive. And the females go like, looking, okay, I like this house. I'm like, are you kidding me? And we know crows think. Of course they do. If you give them something, they give you a gift back. There's all sorts of stories about crows. So anyway, it's kind of fun to start thinking about how they think, how your critters think, and how just start watching. That's all. That's the end of my long story. Okay. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter, I'm Pam Sorellis, wingedhorsehealing.com, and just sign up. Only comes once a month. It's not a biggie. Okay, take care.